I'm deeply moved today and am recording this video because my computer, bless it, with my most important piece of software can no longer cope without doing the big upgrade to a different operating system. Stay with me and this will make sense. When we are comfortable, it is an act of insanity, though possibly nobility, to seek to change the status quo. So if you have everything you need in life, in the society that supports everything you need in life, you'd be mad to revolt against that. And yet, within that society, there are going to be people who do not have everything they need. And this came through the door today and really stirred me up. It's from one of the local estate agents, Domus, and it's a boast. And it's meant to get you excited. It says in 2021, Dorset property prices increased by 11%. 11%. And even more in some areas. And that's from Rightmove. And that's meant to be good news. I don't see it as good news. I see it as terrible news. I think the UK is so comfortable that we will never see revolution. There are too many people who have too much to lose by rocking the boat, by upsetting the status quo. But if you can't get on the housing ladder and the bank of mum and dad is not sufficient to get you on that housing ladder, I can see and perceive and prophesy hope diminishing. And if you get to a point where a sizable portion of the population has no hope of ever owning a home of their own, then there is going to be trouble. Yesterday we had an amazing message at church about being salt, the salt of the earth. It's a lovely phrase, isn't it? You know, meet somebody and go, oh, they're the salt of the earth. I mean, they make life worth living. They're sparky. And salt, of course, is a preservative and it helps us heal things. And those of us who are into peaceful revolution, perhaps, need to be salt of the earth. We need to stand up for something. And I was chatting with some of my friends there and going, well, how can we be salty in this climate? And then that came through the letterbox. And I went, wow. Think of all those people whose hope of ever getting a home is just gone. If it hasn't gone, it's going. That cannot continue in society without some kind of response or reaction or revolution. And my software is an interesting example today. I've had to change the operating system so that it can run my most important bit of software. But here's the rub, if that's the right metaphor. Here's the problem. I have not updated the operating system of my computer, just like we have not updated the operating system of our society, because I know by updating the operating system of my computer, I lose one of my favourite pieces of software, which is no longer made and was only made up to a certain operating system. So I lose today. I gain back, hopefully, my main video software, which is really important for the way I give to the world and what I'm paid for. But I lose a favourite piece of software which is no longer made. And society needs to upgrade its operating system. We need new ways of building and buying homes. Let's not call them houses, let's call them homes. We need new ways of buying and building and buying biophilic design. That was where nature comes in to the home. Homes for those of us who cannot afford to even start to get on the housing ladder. An 11% increase and more in some areas is bad news, really bad news. It destroys hope and there has to be a response. So I will finish this before I see if my computer is going to let me do video editing in future with a very, very significant quote from George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw talks about man, but he means human beings. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. And perhaps we could say the comfortable man adapts themselves to the world. The uncomfortable One persists in trying to adapt the world to himself, but usually they keep trying to adapt themselves to the world. Therefore, all progress depends on the uncomfortable woman, man, and child. Something's got to change.